So now, after we have watched the video, now we're on the class kick assignment, okay? So here's a picture on the bottom of our brain hand model. And this is the same model that I talked about in the YouTube video that we watched, that I also added on Google Classroom, okay? So our brain hand model. So hold up your hand. And then your thumb, that is your amygdala, okay? So that goes on the inside. So your prefrontal cortex is this part right here. So this part kind of protects your amygdala. So go ahead and close it over. So this is your whole brain, okay? So this brain is what helps us to control our emotions, our fight or flight. A lot of things is what we use our brain for, okay? So sometimes when you're feeling stressed or anxious over something at home, something in the classroom, something with friends, something dangerous, that is when your amygdala starts to work and it says, right now this is a stressful situation and we need to think about how we're going to control this, okay? So let's read the bottom down here. In this model, your thumb represents the amygdala. Your fingers represent the prefrontal cortex. When you flip your lid, the prefrontal cortex is cut off from the amygdala, and they are no longer functioning together, and the downstairs brain takes over. Okay, so we're going to learn a little bit more about the downstairs brain in a little bit. So now, let's think about these two questions. What does your thumb represent? The amygdala. Thank you, Alejandro and Thomas. Okay, so now, what do your fingers represent?
The brain.
The
Upstairs brain.
The upstairs brain and it's on your paper. It's on your class kick assignment. What do your fingers represent? The prefrontal cortex. Good. Okay, so let's highlight the answers. So what does the thumb represent? So get your highlight tool quickly. Your thumb represents the amygdala. So highlight amygdala.
My class kick is
Okay. Shh, don't worry about yourself, please. Your fingers represent the prefrontal cortex. Okay, so that's what you need to highlight as well. So you should have highlighted amygdala and prefrontal cortex. Okay, once you have that done, go on to page 2, please. Page 2. Okay, so now on page 2 it says, as you read, sit down please, highlight what the downstairs brain is responsible for. So what the downstairs brain does. So let's do that. Let's do number 1 first, okay? So the whole brain. So here is a text talking about our whole brain, okay? So this is specifically chapter 3, Building the Staircase of the Mind by Daniel J. Siegel, MD, and Tina Payne Bryson, PhD. Okay, starting on the, ready? The downstairs brain includes the brainstem and the limbic region, which are located in the lower parts of the brain, from the top of your neck to the bridge of your nose. They are responsible for basic functions, like breathing and blinking. For innate reactions and impulse, like fight and flight. And for strong emotions, like anger and fear. It's like the first floor of a house, where so many of a family's basic needs are met. There you'll almost always find a kitchen, dining room, bathroom, and so on. Basic necessities get taken care of downstairs. Okay, does paragraph 1 answer our question for part 1? Highlight what the downstairs brain is responsible for.
Yes. No. Wait, yes.
Okay, so you need to highlight what the downstairs brain is responsible in this paragraph quickly. So click the highlight button. What's the downstairs brain responsible for? Highlight. Okay. So what did some of you highlight? Raise your hands. Bo?
They are responsible for basic functions like breathing and blinking, for innate reaction and impulses like fight or flight, and strong emotions like anger and fear.
Good. Anything else? Dylan? Okay. Okay, so you should have highlighted. They are responsible for basic functions like breathing and blinking, for innate reactions and impulse like fight and flight, and for strong emotions like anger and fear. Okay, let's go on to paragraph 2. Your upstairs brain is completely different. It's made up of the cerebral cortex and its various parts, particularly the ones directly behind your forehead. So touch your forehead. It's right behind there. Yes, Bo?
Please ask Thomas to be quiet.
I've already asked him and I'm being patient, okay? Including what's called the middle prefrontal cortex. Unlike your more basic, Thomas, that was not okay. That's okay. Unlike, is this where we were? Including what's called the middle prefrontal cortex. Unlike your more basic downstairs brain, the upstairs brain is more evolved and can give you a fuller perspective of your world. Imagine it is a light-filled second-story study or library full of windows and skylights that allow you to see things more clearly. This is where more intricate mental processes take place, like thinking, imagining, and planning, sound decision-making, control over emotions, and body self-understanding. Okay. Do we need to do anything with paragraph 2?
Yes.
What do we need to do, Ariana?
Number 2.
Number 2, highlight what the upstairs brain does. Okay. So look at paragraph 2. Highlight. What does the upstairs brain do? Go. Dylan, I don't see any highlighting going on. Computer is turned on.
Really?
Yes.
And it's still cold?
Okay. Paragraph number 2. What did you highlight for what the upstairs brain is in charge of? Ariana?
The upstairs brain is more evolved and can give you a fuller perspective on your world.
Okay.
And
Go. Get ready. So it gives you a fuller perspective on your world.
And this is where intricate mental processes take place, like thinking, imagining, and planning, sound decision making, control over emotions, and body self-understanding.
Good. Okay, so if you do not have this highlighted yet, then this is what you should have highlighted. Fuller perspective on your world. This is where more intricate mental processes take place, like thinking, imagining, and planning, sound decision making, control over emotions, and body self-understanding. Got it? Okay, next paragraph. Thank you, Alejandro. As you might expect, a person's brain works best when the upstairs and downstairs are integrated with each other. The upstairs can monitor the actions of the downstairs and help calm the strong reactions, impulses, and emotions that originate there. Okay, next paragraph. Our amygdala, pronounced amygdala, is about the size and shape of an almond and is part of the limbic area, which resides in the downstairs brain. The amygdala's job is to quickly process and express emotions, especially anger and fear. This little mass of gray matter is the watchdog of the brain, remaining always alert for time we might be threatened. Following along, Dylan. When it does sense danger, it can completely take over or hijack the upstairs brain. That's what we call flipping our lid. And it's how the amygdala can get us into trouble. It takes over the amygdala frequently. The amygdala frequently fires up and blocks the stairway connecting the upstairs and downstairs brain. Okay, we have finished reading. Let's make sure we completed all of the instructions on the top. We highlighted downstairs brain is responsible. Check. We highlighted what the upstairs brain is responsible for. Check. Highlight what we call it when the amygdala takes over the brain. Have we done that? I have not. Good job, Ariana, for doing it. I think Alejandro did it too. Okay, so what is it, Dylan? What is it called when amygdala takes over the brain? I messed it up. If you don't know, reread it. Oh, flipping our lid. Was that in this paragraph or the last part? This part? That's what we call flipping our lid? Good. Okay, highlight it, please. Okay. Once that is done, you can go on on to the next page. Okay, go to page 3. Okay, for this page, I want you to find a partner, and I want you to talk about what you see on this picture up here, okay? So I want you to describe it to somebody. Okay? So who, let's see, let's have Dylan and Ariana, Alejandro, Bo, and Emma, and Thomas, I will be with you. Okay? We got 2 minutes. Describe it to your partner, even if you're saying the same things, quickly. Go. Look at it.
I don't get this. Yeah, neither do I. You go back.
Table below, then go to page 4. In the table, you're going to be looking back up at the diagram.
Okay. What did you talk about with your partners? What did you describe?
I don't know. We don't understand.
Thomas, take your hood off, please.
There's an upstairs in your brain and there's a downstairs, and downstairs is the most important stuff.
Okay, so there's like a human head here, right? Dylan. Not okay. In the human head, there's the brain. Do you see how it's kind of like squiggly right here? There's the brain. So on top of the brain is like the picture of a house. Okay, so in that house, there is a staircase where it kind of shows you an upstairs and a downstairs. So that would be like right here, okay? And here's the staircase that connects to the downstairs. So now over here we have these parts of things and emotions that we as people do. So imagining, is that the upstairs or downstairs brain?
Upstairs.
Upstairs. Planning, is that connected to the upstairs or the downstairs? Upstairs. See how the line's connected right there? Okay, thinking. The upstairs or downstairs? Upstairs. The middle prefrontal cortex? That's the upstairs. Okay, what about anger?
Seems to be.
It's the downstairs. Breathing. Downstairs. Dylan. Fear. Downstairs. Blinking. Downstairs. Okay, amygdala. Downstairs. Got it? Okay, so now let's look at the table and fill in the table based off of what we see on what we saw on our picture and what we described, okay? So here's a table. The location of the brain is written in here. So if this side's the downstairs brain, this side would be the upstairs brain. Type it in. Upstairs brain. Thomas, take your hood off, please. Type it in. Okay, so now part of the brain. So the upstairs brain is part of the middle prefrontal cortex. The downstairs brain is part of the turn and share with the partner. The downstairs brain is part of the amygdala. Type it in. Thomas, I've asked you too many times. Please keep your hood off.
Don't have a good day.
Keep the hood off, please. Okay, things that it controls. So we already know the amygdala controls anger. So by looking at the picture, start typing in what things the upstairs brain is in charge of and what the downstairs brain is in charge of. And these parts right here, so things in control. So this one is thinking, planning, okay, finish filling it in.
I'm going to ever.
Okay, so I see somebody put it in. Okay.
I threw in another one.
Okay. So for those last ones, you should have thinking, planning, imagining, imagination. Hold on, Mariana. Okay, for the downstairs brain, you should have anger, breathing, fear. What was another one? Anger, breathing, fear, blinking.
Yeah.
Okay. You got those all in? All right. We'll go ahead and stop right here. We'll finish up pages 4 and 5 tomorrow. Make sure you have the whole table filled in, and then go ahead and go on to Lexia, okay? You need to do 3 to 5 units of Lexia today.